They say every gym has one. A presence that drifts in and out of class. Unpredictable. Unseen for months until one random Tuesday, he appears.
No one knows where he trains or if he even does, but somehow he's been a white belt for 10 years.
Some say he trained hard for 2 weeks straight back in 2015. Others claim they've spotted him warming up, only to vanish mid-class, never to be seen again.
They say if you listen closely during open mat, you can hear the faint sound of a guy explaining why he just can't make it in lately.
Work's been crazy. I gotta focus on my cardio before I come to class. All my gis shrank.
And if you ever see a mysterious white belt walk through the door, brand new rash guard, mismatched belt, still asking which side to line up on, don't stare too long.
Because if you do, you may realize it's him. The 10-year white belt.
He'll roll once, talk about coming back. For real this time.
And if you listen closely, you can hear him whisper during the warm-ups. I
suck at Jiu-Jitsu. How do I suck less at Jiu-Jitsu?
I guess to suck less.
The diabolical leader of the Headlock Squad.
So the year is 2016. I am a brown belt. I'm getting ready to compete at the Chicago Open. And my first round is against somebody that I've beaten before. But a very good competitor, somebody I've also lost to before. And so I'm getting my warm-up in. I'm warming up at Chicago State University. If you've ever competed at the Chicago Open, you understand where that is. And it is, the school closed down in, 1983, and they just kept renting out to the IBJJF. And so none of the vending machines ever have drinks. The venue was run down. I'm warming up. I'm jogging underneath the stadium, and there's kind of some garage doors as you're jogging, but it's a really great place to jog. You can just run the whole circle. I'm about 10% into my warm up, and there is a garage door cracked about a foot. And literally, as I'm jogging, a rat the size of a cat runs right in front of me, and I feel it down my spine. I feel it in my soul. My warm-up's over. To make matters worse, I go out into this match, no warm-up, take off my shoes, get ready to go, slap bump. I expect that he's going to pull guard. I plan on kind of like passing right after he pulls. He pulls. I have this thought of like, oof, he kind of landed on my toe. And there is a point I'm in smash half guard for a second, and I hear the ref say, stop. Not Portuguese, not a Portuguese term. So there is some panic. He didn't use the proper thing. He's like, hey, don't roll anymore. Stop. And I look back, and my leg is just covered in blood. I had broken my toe, but also broken the skin too. And they didn't let me compete anymore. And so to top that off, instead of going to the emergency room, we went to Target and we bought alcohol and superglue, and we fixed it like men. And my toe is fine. What do you got, Bryce?
I'm surprised they didn't let you compete just because of a cut.
It was, they were examining it out there.
Mm-hmm.
It was, if you have the 30-second skip button and you get woozy, you should hit that right now. It was like, like the crease on your big toe.
Yeah.
It was that entire thing had torn completely deep from like side to side, like the Joker, like when they cut his face, you know. Yeah, they were like opening that wound up, and the girl was like, "Absolutely not. There's no way you're competing with this." And yeah, they didn't let me.
That's goofy. I mean, yeah, I guess it makes sense. But I feel like every tournament now you see like somehow some dude gets cut on his face or something, and they just have like his whole head wrapped up in a little ball.
I don't remember who it was at the St. Louis Open, but I was coaching somebody with Junior, and of course the refs don't speak English; they speak Portuguese. So I'm doing the "Hey Junior, say this. Hey Junior, say this," and so he's yelling to the ref. And at one point, whoever match it was, the guy kept bleeding. I think it would have probably been Matt Green, and I was like, "Hey Junior, tell him you get 3 stops of the match if you're bleeding. If after the third one, you're DQ'd." And I mean, I've seen it happen to Kyle.
Yeah.
And so I was like, what do you know, I don't make the rules. I'm just here to remind the ref that they exist. And we didn't end up winning that way. We won, through hard work and determination and a blast double through this guy's soul. But yeah, we could have tried to win in the bleeding category, because a win's a win, Bryce.
It is. And I do want to say that they do speak English. They just choose not to.
Yeah, to you, that makes sense. That's the truth.
Okay, though. Respect, it's a game. Yeah, those types of injuries honestly make me so like woozy. I hate thinking about that type of stuff. I just the other day was just dwelling upon jiu-jitsu injuries that like haven't happened, but that I've like seen people go through and stuff. And that stuff absolutely terrifies me. I feel like if I ever have like a bad injury on the mat, you're probably going to see me like completely pass out. And you guys are going to have to carry my lifeless body to a car or something.
What was the worst injury that you witnessed of somebody else? Let's be honest. Jiu-jitsu people are absolutely gross. We're rolling through sweat, blood, and whatever weird neck fungus that Jimmy brought back from vacation in Mexico. And if your gym doesn't have showers, you're basically marinating in all of that on your way home. That's why I use Full Guard from Sports Hygiene. It's a skin spray that kills staph, ringworm, and all the other gym gremlins on contact. No alcohol, no burn, and it's good for your skin biome. Full Guard is powered by hypochlorous acid. Kind of sounds like something from a comic book, but it's literally the molecule that your body makes to fight infection. Full Guard just found a way to weaponize it to go to war with these gross skin infections. So you can spray before class, spray after class. You can even spray your training partner during class if he smells a bit sus. Go to sportshygiene.com to grab a bottle. Jiu-jitsu is dirty. Stay clean.
Well, I did want to top your toe injury.
Yeah, I thought that's where you were going. I was trying to give you that shot because that was a much worse toe injury than my toe injury.
Yeah, so remember back one night, and listeners can even go back through the I Suck at Jiu-Jitsu YouTube and find the Dawg vlog. I don't remember what number it is specifically.
It's got to be probably 4 or 5. It's called A Typical Night at Head Nod.
Yeah.
And boy, is it.
And you should, I think the thumbnail has the X-ray.
It does have the X-ray.
So, yeah, one night we're filming a Dawg vlog, and
the only night we ever did it at our gym.
Yeah.
Right? We never filmed anything at the HQ. We were always doing it at other places. Yeah. We said, well, why not HQ?
Dude,
and boy, did we realize why not HQ.
I actually think there was one sad Dawg vlog before that when Xavier and Jerome had their super fight.
Oh, that was horrible. That was on you, though.
We should probably completely scratch that.
I wasn't there.
Vlog.
I wasn't there. I had nothing to do with that. But yeah, that was an L.
Okay, so anyway, yeah, go back and watch this Dawg vlog. We are Typical Night at Head Nod. We're training. Me and Josh, actually, the segment that this happens, me and Josh are placing bets on the students at the gym. and trying to bet who's going to win each round. And during this filming, you can see and hear in the background, my brother was training with one of our ghost white belts, and he overhead sweeps this white belt, and when he rolls backwards to come up into mount, his big toe hits directly down on the mat and completely snaps, like comically, to the outside. And his toe is obviously dislocated. And we all start to freak out because
No. Don't you skip a huge part of that story.
So, I'm going to say we start to freak out at first because it's very obviously crazy dislocated. And then it just takes a couple seconds and we realize Brian's toe bone is sticking out of his foot. And it was, I didn't realize.
But before anyone realized, you were in his face with the camera.
I was one of the last to realize because I'm watching it through the lens of the camera.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying you were in his face with the camera, like, hey, Brian, something happened to your leg. I'm looking at this dude. I'm looking inside of your brother. I'm like, there's a hole in his foot where his toe used to be. Yeah. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, Bryce, put the camera down now. Call an ambulance. Call 911.
Yeah, I like zoomed in on it over him. And I realized as I was zooming in that I was zooming in on an exposed bone. And I immediately set the camera down. And shout out to Jeff Katani, moved back to Hawaii.
Ditched us, abandoned us.
Yeah, just like everybody, man. But Jeff,
that was sad.
No, Jaden's back. It's cool. But Jeff Katani is works at a hospital. He's a nurse, I think, and throws just a towel over Brian's foot because everybody at the gym is kind of like circling around and starting to be like, holy crap, that's insane.
That's insane.
And of course, Brian's freaking out. He's taking it like a champ. Bro. Yeah, he's taking it like a champ. But you got to know inside his head, he's like, wow, I'm staring at my bone right now. And
I think that was part of Jeff too. I think Jeff throwing that thing over was so he couldn't see it. Because I saw it very quickly. First thing he did was yell, Josh. And I'm like, oh, yeah, what's up, buddy? What do you need? Oh, my gosh. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, that was horrible.
And so shout out to Jeff for throwing that towel over because it definitely stopped Brian and everybody else from looking at it. And then who helped me carry Brian out to my car. I immediately, just set the camera down. I don't even know. I don't think we changed it all. Head straight to the hospital in Geese. and we should not have, and we both knew and talked about it as we were on our way to the hospital, that we should not be going to the Granite City Hospital for this type of situation. Yeah. But I will say, with the type of situation it was, I told him, I was like, dude, we have no other choice right now because we need to get this fixed, obviously, immediately. And so we go to Granite City Hospital, which is probably just 7 minutes away from the gym. And I park, walk in, ask for a wheelchair, get a wheelchair, get Brian on the wheelchair, just us two. And then I roll him inside. He still has the towel over his foot. And I should say on the way there, Brian, completely just taking it like a champ. Was not crying, was not freaking out. I think, I think we called our parents and said, hey, just a heads up, this is going on, so you probably want to head down here. And then, yeah, just took it like a champ. Get to the hospital, wheel him in there, and I tell him, hey, my brother's toe bone his toe is dislocated, and his toe bone is sticking out of his body. He has an exposed bone. And the lady could not, I understand she's just trying to be calm, but could not have been like less concerned with what was happening. And they did have a room full of people, but I tried to express to them very clearly several times that he had an exposed bone, and it was probably something that needed to be, you know, prioritized over other people.
Yeah. Hey, do you know of triage, ma'am? Have you heard of triage? I think he's high up on the list. Okay.
And I'm not kidding. We sat in the waiting room, I think for an hour, maybe over an hour.
That's crazy.
And the only person I could talk to was the just receptionist lady, and they would not let me talk to anybody else. And as soon as they took him back there and took that towel off of his foot, they all freaked the heck out.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the nurses came running out to me and was just like nonstop apologizing, just could not be more sorry. She was like, this is absolutely unacceptable. Like, this should have been seen absolutely immediately. And I was like, yeah, no shit. I was telling you guys as soon as I walked in here, this is insane. And I was really honestly worried. I was like, my brother's going to lose his toe.
Yeah,
like,
dude, I thought that he was too. It looked like he was going to.
Just the injury itself, and then just, I'm not kidding. We sat back there for an hour. I was like, something's gonna get infected. It's just, not a good situation. I thought my brother was gonna lose his toe. Was trying not to show that. I was really mad in there. He was taking it like a champ. They end up popping it back in place. I think Granite City didn't even know what to do with it, and they called one of the hospitals in St. Louis, and they were asking them for advice or something, and they told him to pop it back in place, and they popped it back in place, and then I think they called for an ambulance to transport him to that hospital in St. Louis to look at it further, clean it, and just really check out the entire scope of the injury. And what's also funny is that in typical Granite City fashion, on their way to St. Louis, they got stopped by a train. Did you hear that? Do you remember that? They got stopped by a train. And
in the ambulance?
In the ambulance.
That sounds like the Midwest, baby.
And Brian tried to tell them, like, hey, I know this area really well. If you go around to XYZ Street, you're going to be able to get past this. There's an overpass. We can get straight there, blah, blah, blah. And they would not listen to him. And they told him, and I don't know what their protocol is, but they were like, nope, this is what we got to do. And I don't know how long he got stuck by a train, but trains they last like what feels like 6 to 8 minutes sometimes, so just that adds on top to everything.
Yeah, when your bone is exposed. Yeah, that was no good. I mean, I blame you. Probably wouldn't have happened if we weren't recording.
He was in the background, man.
And then you definitely came up and were like recording him, your brother's injury. So I definitely blame you. What other story you got? I've got a few that involve injury, few that don't, some weight cutting ones. I have all kinds of, a lot of losses for me. Most of my horror stories are just like big event losses in front of a lot of people.
We can do 2020 Nationals. That's kind of, involved both of us. We both have a little bit of maybe different perspective side of the story.
I don't even remember what the heck 2020 Nationals would have been. Most jiu-jitsu gear feels like it was designed by someone who's never trained. And it smells like it was designed by someone who's never showered. That's why I use Datsusara. My gi, my backpack, my fanny pack, they are all made from hemp. It's ridiculously comfortable, it lasts forever, and it doesn't hold on to the stink of regret from last night's no-gi class. Even better, the gi is weirdly hard to grip. It's kind of like you're grappling while covered in butter. Don't ask me how I know what it feels like to grapple in butter. Instead, go to dsgear.com and use promo code ISUCK for 10% off. And you'll stop wearing gear that feels like a sweaty, stinky duffel bag and start wearing the coolest gear in Jiu-Jitsu. Check them out at dsgear.com.
2020 Nationals was, remember, obviously 2020.
I mean, I have a much harsher side of the story than you do, I'm sure.
The pandemic, had everything going on at a weird time. So Nationals was in December.
This your first IBJJF?
First IBJJF.
For how many people are their first IBJJF? I convinced Brittany to compete before she had started training. Her husband was training.
Holy smokes, I forgot about that.
And she was like, oh, you guys are all going. I want to go. And it's like 6 weeks out. And I was like, well, why wouldn't you just compete? And she's like, well, I don't train. I'm like, that's a great argument, but why not just train? And she started training for that tournament. And she fought the dude, the old man from the movie Up in her division. And that was a rough one. But that's brutal. But then, my perspective is that 2 brand new white belts asked me what they should do about their weight division. I gave them very clear advice on what to do, and especially clear on what not to do. And they didn't listen to me. So what was your story, Bryce and Brian, Allen brothers?
So, we definitely probably cut more. We probably should have just done featherweight, but we were doing light feather. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how much weight I cut. But
bro, you guys were both like, hey, should we lose 5 pounds for this division or should we lose 20 pounds for the next? And I was like, you should lose 5 pounds and not 20. And then you're like, nah, I don't think you know what you're talking about. We should lose 20, I'm pretty sure.
And terrible weight cut. We had to obviously just watch everybody enjoy their time and their meals. And we were definitely small, skinny guys. But I was going to say, remember, because it was COVID time. So we went to the tournament, literally, we turned our phones off of airplane mode and we pulled up our phones and the tournament was canceled. And we were there for I don't know how many days we scheduled to be there. It was nationals. So I imagine it was 3 or something. I don't know. And then we all are, going through the emotions of that, just like, damn, we're not going to compete. And just I don't know.
You're like, I haven't eaten in days. Yeah. Maybe I should just eat a burrito right now.
And then I think we were, I don't know. We found out very recently after that they switched the venue location, right?
Yeah, they switched the venue location, but then they switched all the protocol too. So for you guys when me, Richie, and Robert competed on day 1, you guys weren't even allowed in the building.
Yes.
And so you guys had to all stay back and watch.
From the Airbnb.
Yeah, and watch from Airbnb. You know what's crazy? Is that's the best I've ever done at Nationals.
Yeah, you got second place.
I got second. I think I submitted my first guy, beat my second guy by a ton. And then friggin' lost to Jake Watson in the final.
Dang.
So rough. And I didn't cut much weight at all for that. I was a medium heavyweight for that. I should do that again. But yeah, when you go into your first match and then you fight the 141-pound Incredible Hulk, how was that experience?
Man, I had never put that much heart into anything. Because I was dying from that weight cut. And I mean, I'm sure you remember afterwards just how absolutely depleted I was. But that kid could not have been tougher. And I mean, I feel like I sweep him a million times. I feel like I had him in guillotines. I had him in triangles. I could just not put this kid away. And I want to say it was a pretty close match. Like we were
I
at,
feel like you
advantage
won
for
on
an
it.
advantage, right?
I feel like you won on advantages, but I think the points were going back and forth. But I feel like you had a ton of advantages because you had so many triangles and all kinds of other things.
And then, that was insane. And I remember, I mean, I never experienced really I want to say that was my first adrenaline dump or whatever, because anything I probably experienced them before at the Fuji and AGF tournament that I did in St. Louis before that, but like
not to that extent.
Nowhere near.
I would argue you had a blood sugar drop.
I could have.
That was how you seemed, because we ended up giving you Gatorade eventually, and it brought you back to life. You know, we were able to wheel you out to go fight in your next match.
Yeah, still to this day haven't ever felt that bad in my entire life.
You really? That was like, because I was coaching, we had a bunch of competitors, and so like maybe Richie, somebody runs up to me like, "Hey, Bryce is really struggling." I'm like, "Don't worry, go put ice on his neck, give him water, he'll be fine." And then like I go get in like 10, 15 minutes, he'll be totally back and he'll feel fine. It's like 10 or 15 minutes later, they run back. Like, Bryce is just as bad. He looks terrible. He looks pale. And I go, "Oh, it could be his blood sugar." I go get a Gatorade and give him that. And then that started to bring you back to life. I remember you telling me right after, "Dude, I was taking drinks of Gatorade and feeling like blood going back into my body."
I was going to say, I really felt like, I don't really remember a lot after that match up until I drank that Gatorade. I came back to life. I like energy bars in my body. Like I could feel it from my head to my toes, just everything going back into me. And that was insane. Then I fought a guy afterwards, still had a super tough, just scrappy white belt match. He beat me on points. But yeah, just fought my heart out. And then I think that was the first time I had In-N-Out afterwards.
Ooh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a great celebratory meal after that kind of weight cut.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good teamwork meal. I feel like we had In-N-Out the first night too, because me, Richie, Robert were like, "Oh man, everyone's still cutting weight that we're going home to. Let's just drive through In-N-Out," and then be like, "Oh yeah, we'll just eat salad with you guys."
Dang.
And that's what we did.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, sometimes you just keep those parts of the stories to yourself, you know?
That's okay. Yeah, remember the just tiny slither of chicken me and Brian had for dinner?
Yeah, dude, I really wasn't even worried about you guys. I was letting you suffer. You know, you didn't listen to me. It's a good learning experience. You know, it's a good character building experience, is that near-death experience. You know, it would have been less character building had you have won. You know, it was probably better to have 2 matches and nearly die in between.
Hey, man, I won one of those with absolutely zero energy. So
That is true. Okay, so I got two goodies on the same kind of genre. And like I said, it's discouraging events that happened to your boy. That's what most of my horror stories are. The ones that involve me are like bad for me. And so let me just set the scene. Let me set the scene in the Midwest, because both of these stories you actually have a perspective on. You've actually you were there for both of them. We, had a different relationship during both of them, but I can still vividly remember your face after I lost in both of these matches. And so the first one is the Fuji World Pro main event. When I say that, who do you think about? Because I've fought on that a few times, but who do you think about me having a match with?
that was the night I saw Andrew Wiltse for the first time. And I thought my coach was unstoppable before that. I thought we were on top of the world, because me and Brian come out the gate winning some tournaments. That was like one of our first tournament experiences.
Yeah,
we're winning.
That day, you compete that day.
Our teammates are winning. And just even before that, like in training, I was like, wow, like this is I don't know anything about jiu-jitsu, but these guys seem really good. And yeah, I thought we were number one, baby.
Bro.
I mean, we are, but.
I mean, not that day. And so keep in mind, this is the main event. And you put me as the main event to sell tickets. You know, that's why you put me in one of these things. And so I sell tickets. And we have, it is a sold out crowd. And it's about 50-50 between my team and his team. And it is a loud, intense crowd. Keep in mind, he's been a belt level behind me most of our jiu-jitsu, but he is winning everything at that belt behind me. And so the event to make, the match to make in the St. Louis area was that one, you know? And it was only a matter of time before someone asked. Of course, we both jumped in and said yes. But the match didn't go as planned, Bryce. Boy, I just can't say enough. I've mentioned it on the podcast before. Can never say enough how unbelievably good that guy was. Like, just on a different level. Like, I just can't even. I got to train with him a few times, but then even competing against him, the speed of decision making once I got behind felt unbelievable. You know, I've competed in a ton of black belt matches, a ton of black belt adult matches, but I felt nothing like that match in just the times rolling with him. But he triangled me in front of all my friends and family, and I can still actually, I don't think I have a photographic memory, but I can still see individually every single person's face and the disappointment on their face after that match, including you. Including your brother, my coach, but basically everybody.
I was just tired from competing, man.
Nah, dude, you were very disappointed in me. I could see it. I could see it on your face. You were heartbroken. You and your brother, you guys were both heartbroken because you hadn't gotten to experience me losing enough. You know?
Dude, like I said, I didn't experience anybody losing.
Yeah, and that was because that would have been, I did a couple weeks later would have been the tournament, which was American Nationals 2020.
Yeah.
And so that would have been the tournament that I went and got second after and felt really good that time. And that was when I was like, okay, so I was in good shape. I was doing the things right that I should be doing. That dude is just an absolute monster.
Yeah, I was thanking God Andrew Wiltse wasn't in your Nationals division.
Yeah, we all were, buddy. We all were. So then, have you ever finished a roll and thought, what was I even doing out there? Same. We have all felt that way. And that is why you need Jiu-Jitsu for Imbeciles, a free course from Rob Bernacki that explains Jiu-Jitsu so clearly, it makes you wonder how you ever got confused in the first place. I am telling you, it is like a TED Talk for people who suck at Jiu-Jitsu. And that is why they're giving it totally free to I Suck at Jiu-Jitsu show listeners. So go to bjmentalmodels.com/ISuck and download it for free right now before you throw away another roll chasing guillotines from bottom side control. We can go into another bad. This is actually way worse. This is a way worse story. You were here for it. I've literally probably told the honest, unabridged story to two people, maybe one person, maybe just you.
Okay.
But we'll tell the whole thing today, you know, because if we're doing horror stories, we got to go with the worst stuff, right?
Yeah.
And so, main event of a super fight. And I've got a little tweaksy in my ankle, okay? The week before I had competed at Pans and totally just got my ankle snapped. I yelled a little bit for the tap, but I walked it off, right? Like I walked it off pretending like it didn't hurt, right?
Oh, yeah.
So if you have a super fight main event with me, the chances of you having flow grappling, watching that match and going, hey, maybe his ankle's still hurt, probably pretty low, right? No one would do that. But here's the thing. There are good coaches everywhere. And I'm not saying that's what it was. Could have just been an accident. Who knows? But if it was intentional, It's great gamesmanship, and I would have done the same thing. I don't tape my ankle because I'm like, I don't want to show that I have an ankle injury. And I know some people are like, oh, tape both of your ankles. I'm like, that would really show this dude. If I had no ankles taped a week before, and then I got ankle locked, and then I had both ankles taped, they would just go, hey, ankle lock the one that got ankle locked last week. It's obviously the injured one. So there's no real way around it. I'm just like, I won't do it. I'm putting in work in this super fight. My boy Bryce drives all the way out there just to support me.
Yep.
It's me, you, Dylan, Dalton. Those are the only 3 people. Am I correct?
I think so, yeah.
That's the crew, the St. Louis crew that's there. And I'm in the middle of the match. I'm feeling great, putting it on, crowd's on fire, playing the bad guy role. And I hear something, I swear, in Portuguese sounds like foot or footlock or break his broken ankle or something. So dude attacks it, actually defend, use it to sweep, get on top, get past, get to mount. The cook is on, bro. Match should be over here. Get bridge and rolled off. Crap. Well, that sucked. So now I'm like in guard again. He falls back on another ankle lock. I'll just defend the same way. Pop up. Things are good. Putting some pressure on top. Things are good. A lot of trash talk going on in this crowd. Main event. A lot of stuff happening, Bryce. So you understand people are saying things about me, you know, my family, my sexual orientation. Who knows? They're saying mean things. One lady just keeps, you remember the lady obnoxiously yelling to murder me the whole time? Yes. And so it's a wild crowd. Again, I respect it. Nothing that I don't respect here. But because if you come to St. Louis, it'd be like that.
Tenfold.
Yeah, tenfold, no doubt. But I get too into the moment. And this is the part that I've never shared. I get too into the moment. I've got the cool guy, long hair at the time. They're all yelling for the finish. And I actually look up at his coaches and shake my head no. As if, nah, he ain't going to get it, boys. Not 3 seconds later, without changing the position, I'm completely on top. I should be totally safe. My ankle feels like it just dislocates. Feels like my foot just comes off of my body. And I yell out and I tap.
Come on, bro.
What were your thoughts on it, Bryce? You were sitting right there. You saw it happen.
I mean, once again, just one of those moments where I was praying, and you were beating up the guy before. Was that your first match with him, or was that your second match?
My second match was in St. Louis.
Yeah, that was the rematch. I mean, yeah, you were beating the guy. I felt like if I remember correctly, and yeah, I mean, it was just sad, bro. I mean, what else is there? I drove 3.5 hours, and
yeah,
I'm watching my coach beat up somebody. And then he rebroke his foot, and I watched him just break his foot the week before, so it was sad.
Yeah, bro, it was disappointing. I honestly, you didn't look as disappointed as you did during the first main event that we talked about. It was as if you had become calcified to me losing matches.
We had gone through some wins and losses together at that point.
You and I had eaten a lot of consistent losses for a good amount of time. I just dropped 2. What do you got? Didn't you say you have one that I don't know?
Yeah, I was going to say this is a secret. This is a super secret, man. And I feel so bad for this. And I've never, not even my brother have I told this to, bro.
No. What is it?
One time, oh, man.
Come on.
People are going to hate me. They're going to talk to me about this. One time, I'm rolling with the white belt. He probably had been training at our gym. I don't know. Maybe it's his first month. He's on week 3 or something.
Okay.
And I'm doing the Bryce Classic. I put him in a triangle. And he just, I don't know what, I didn't feel this before coming on. He did something and I just farted in his face. Wow. I had triangle locked, brother.
Was he pulling his chin out? Was he pulling his chin out? Was he like trying to tuck his chin and pull his head all the way out? So
I
he
think,
was like,
you know how people just naturally like stack you? I think he was just going to stack and it just flew out, brother. And I swear to God, Josh, I never saw him come back to the gym. He never came back, bro. No. We didn't acknowledge it even. Like, there's no way. There's no.
definitely knew.
There's no way he didn't not know.
Oh no, no, Bryce. So that's why our gym numbers are down.
That's why you lost a student that month.
I'm crying.
I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh.
I don't even know if you have anything to say about that, but that is a top horror story for me.
That's an amazing why someone wouldn't come back to our gym.
And I've thought about that story a lot. It's one of those things.
When did this happen? Give me a.
Oh, bro, I was a blue belt. I think. Yeah, I was for sure a blue belt. I don't know, man. It had to be 2022, maybe. I would say. But
I can't believe you, bro. You're gonna get canceled for this.
yeah,
It
was an accident.
You
man.
know, our boy Mike Mahaffey has a saying something like, "If it's not Master 5, if there's no flatulence," or something like that.
Yeah, I feel like I remember that.
Holy smokes. Yeah, that's honestly though, we should have just done this episode on reasons that people would not want to come back to Head Nod, because that's what my other stories are. If it's not me losing, it's one of my students doing something horrific to a visitor. And I have the worst one, and it will take all the heat off you farting on white belts' faces from north-south triangles.
Hell yeah.
You know?
What have we got?
As your only move, as your favorite go-to move. So I don't know how many of our guys I should call out by name on this, but I think I will specifically call out one because that's was the worst offender. But honestly, there was a good amount of offenders on this one. So I get this guy coming in from out of town. Let's say that he is a purple belt. Let's say he's a brown belt. Okay. He wasn't, but let's say he's a brown belt. And he is he's visiting. He tells me his story. Super nice guy. Comes in to train. Okay. He does 2-3 rounds. I see our guys kind of being weird. Just a few of our guys. Like I said, I won't call anybody specifically except for Colin. Okay.
Being weird.
Just being weird with like how they're talking to each other. It's like they have a secret that they're a few of the a group of the guys. I'm not training that night, so I'm just watching rounds. Okay. And I'm like, oh, this is weird. Colin comes up to me and he goes, "Hey, me and so and so and so and so and so and so, we think that guy's a fake brown belt." And I was like, "What?" He's like, "We should call him out. We need to call him out. We should like make a video or something." And I'm like, I'm dumbfounded because one, he's not bad. He's definitely not rolling like a competitive brown belt. He's not beating our brown belts, but he's rolling just fine. And I said, "You mean the guy over there, that brown belt?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "You mean the one that has double hip replacement that he got for fighting in a war for your freedom?"
Yeah.
And he was like jaw on the floor. I'm like, you know that this dude is a veteran, and that's why he doesn't move so well, is because he has double hip replacement from, I want to say it was like something crazy. I don't even remember what it was, but it was something like horrific that happened to this guy. And I was like, that guy? And the amount of shame that filled the room. And then you know me. You know, as soon as that guy was gone, I doubled down. I shamed those guys to death. And then on the show too, you know, which is even worse. But yeah, Colin was really the worst perpetrator of this.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I remember. I briefly remember.
Let me
that
ask you
as
this, Bryce. Be honest. Were you in that group of people that were beating up this person?
I don't think so.
Are you sure?
I was.
Were you? It feels
I don't
like
think so.
When you're just talking, they're like, wait, you were in the room. You would have definitely been somebody that would have been included in that group.
I was going to say, remember, and I'm slightly forgetting the details, but this wasn't on my list, but a very relatable horror story. Me and Brian thought that someone came into the gym. This was like less than a year ago, if not a year ago. And we essentially, do you remember this? We thought that this guy was like a striking coach somewhere that
You thought that he was like a white belt somewhere else, or a white belt at our gym, but a purple belt somewhere else, or something?
purple belt or a brown belt somewhere else that
and
was
you were
also a
just
striking
confusing
coach.
two white
and-
dudes with beards?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he was doing our striking classes and was obviously new to striking, but Brian was like, dude, I swear this guy's the striking coach at this other place that I know of. And so me and Brian beat that guy up that night.
You did beat him up to prove to him that he wasn't a fake brown belt while wearing a white belt. He acted like a white belt.
Yes.
Because he was a white belt.
Yes. And it was...
How do I have any students at all?
I tapped him to pressure 3 times in a 5-minute round, and it was for mount every time. And he would like verbally be like, while
And
he's
you'd be like,
tapping.
wow, I haven't learned that move in my first 2 weeks of training. I'm sorry, I look like somebody.
I felt really bad for that one.
Okay, so now we have multiple stories of you making people not come back to the gym. But here is one of somebody that I believe made himself not come back to the gym. And there's something good in this one.
Okay.
Day one guy comes to noon class. He is, does a little bit of training. I mean, he is as day one of a middle-aged dude as you could have, and as average of an athlete as you could bring me, and that hasn't done anything in 10 years. And he says to me, hey, so I have a big goal in this. And I said, oh, cool. What's your goal? And he said, so my goal is one day I'm going to stand on the mat across from Gordon Ryan and compete against him. And I said, what? And he said, yeah, I know it's a big goal. He goes, but I'm like a big goal person. I set big goals, and, that's what I do. And I go, oh. I said, what are some other goals that you've set? And he didn't have an answer to that. It was just the
Start jiu-jitsu,
It was
bro.
the Gordon Ryan. Well, no, not start jiu-jitsu. That wasn't the goal. The goal of starting jiu-jitsu was to beat Gordon Ryan. And as far as I know, that person has never trained again. And this was years ago. So don't start with that goal. That was somebody who they kind of struck themselves out of the gym pretty early. I am a man betrayed by the art that he loves. My name's Josh McKinney, and as most of you know, I've been cursed with the burden of fixing jiu-jitsu. With your help, we're going to heel hook the fake black belts, every single one of them. Those mat bullies that you're dealing with, we're going to pressure tap them. And Reddit BJJ, we're burning it to the ground unless they allow me to post my podcast episodes and quit deleting them. But I can't do this alone. Every like, every comment, every 5-star review, it fuels the mission, it powers the algorithm, and honestly, it keeps me from turning to the dark side and opening a karate school in a strip mall between a CBD store and Spencer's Gifts. So if you believe in better jiu-jitsu, review the podcast, do it for the future, do it for the children, but most importantly, do it so you never have to hear someone say "os" ever again.
That's pretty crazy. And I guess it was probably from the Joe Rogan podcast that someone even knew who Gordon Ryan was before they started jiu-jitsu.
Bro.
My bad, keep going.
Never mind. I'm not going to say it. I'll tell you about it later. That wouldn't be a good idea right now. But let's move on. I have another one of person leaving the gym rather quickly. And this is the only time I've ever told you, I'm sure I have, the only time that I've ever asked Eric Hebner to mat enforce for me.
I want to say I know this story, but
So it's in the Blue Room. So that's got to be 6 years ago, probably. Guy comes in, and a few people had complained to me about him, and he was coming in a class that I don't teach. And this was back when I taught every class but like one. And so you don't remember that. You don't remember a time like that. But when I'm doing this, I'm getting all these complaints, and then like he even hurts. He's a bigger guy, and he even hurts a few of our smaller like purple belts. And I'm like, okay, this, something needs to be done. And so I switch classes with Huff for a week. Like, hey, you go teach my Wednesday, I'll teach your Tuesday, so I can take care of this. And he's like, okay. So I go and I'm just gonna beat this guy up, right? Because I'm a great mat enforcer. I know how much to do it, how much to lay off. Like, oh, this is too much, this is excessive. I know what that is like. I didn't take into account that not everyone knew that, and I didn't take into account that I never once asked Eric Hebner to mat enforce for me. And so this dude is wrenching some, 15-year-old child's neck or something like that. And I look at Eric and I say, hey, Eric, have you rolled with Bill? And Eric goes, no. And I go, I think you should roll with Bill. And he looked up at me and just looked me in the eyes for just a few seconds. And I kept eye contact. And then he smiled. And it's the only time I've ever seen Eric Hebner smile. I've never seen him smile any other time. I've seen him win so many big divisions, unbelievable matches. Only time he smiled was when I actually asked him, I greenlit this guy. So he starts going with the guy. He does the normal Eric where he gets you in north-south, but not north-south where he's chest on your face. North-south where you tried to start to get away, and he like catches your neck in a rear naked choke, but your back is still pretty much laying on the ground, like you're about to be decapitated. Mm-hmm. And so right from there, he paused, and he gave the guy a second of like, hey, I could kill you right now. And what the guy did was he took both of his hands, he reached behind his own head, and he tried to double-handed rape choke Eric. Oh, my God. And Eric literally, while in the double-handed rape choke, made eye contact with me again, smiled one last time, and I never saw Bill again. Bill was gone forever. He was gone from the, we can't even talk about it for insurance purposes. But yeah, names and faces of that. I mean, that was Eric who did it, but I changed the name of Bill. But yeah, that was a great one. That was a great mat enforcer.
I forgot the part that he rape choked Eric. I thought
he asked for it, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta. That's Eric's got to do what he's got to do there.
Definitely.
How many more stories you got?
A couple. I was going to bring up, speaking of making people quit jiu-jitsu, remember Ralph from Chicago?
Oh.
Dang. I just got to take this thing off.
Your white belt. Before we get into it, this cut that you just took off your face, my costume, pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
If you can't tell, it's because you don't know Pokemon. I am Charizard, and I mean, I'm pretty into it. I'm full on character, I could breathe fire if you really gave me enough time. And then what is your outfit? I know it took some damage in shipping.
So I was supposed to be a white belt. So I got my arm wrapped up. People can't really see that too well. Got my north-south knot on here.
The north-south knot, one of the most important quintessential white belt things.
And then I had my little eye injury piece here, my cut, rather. But it's not sticking to my face anymore. So.
But you didn't read the back that said you needed adhesive sold separately.
Yeah, that was my fault.
That's a Bryce move right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a Bryce move. So now back to the best Bryce move of all time, which is ruining Ralph's life.
Yeah, so in 2021 Chicago, I'm a white belt, and this is the first Chicago 21, and I make it to the. Oh, I guess we should probably start with. We actually made a bet, me and Josh, prior to this
hilarious.
competition. It was the second time that Conor McGregor fought Dustin Poirier. Josh was betting that Conor was going to win, and I was betting that Dustin was going to win. And then within that fight, the loser of the bet had to wear a T-shirt that the winner chose. Which we actually did again recently at the St. Louis Open.
And I lost that one too.
And yeah, I won
I
that
lost
one.
on the CJI bet. If you guys didn't know, if you didn't see me walking around with a freaking stupid shirt that said "I love Josh McKinney" on it,
And it had a picture of yourself on it.
So that was such a good one, man. But anyway, back to the other time you beat me. I'm wearing what shirt?
So you're wearing a T-shirt that has my face on it, and it says "my favorite student," I think, and then it has my Instagram on there. And hilarious shirt. It was awesome. And that was the fight that Conor McGregor broke his leg in half.
So it really wasn't even a loss.
No,
Just like the loss at CJI wasn't even a loss. You beat me on 2 technicalities, and as Conor McGregor said, this isn't over. Your wife was in my DMs.
hey, I'm 2 for 2 on
I know, man.
bets, so
I know, but just the walk out with the broken leg to pretend to shoot the shotgun in the air, that was still that should have been a win.
That was
I
insane.
shouldn't have to wear that shirt. But anyway, continue.
So I make it to the finals of my division. Josh is wearing this T-shirt, and I'm down on points, only by a couple points, and there's probably about a minute left in this fight, and I'm fighting Ralph, and I get Ralph in a Darce choke, and I put him to sleep while I'm down on points
As time goes out.
as the time goes out. So Ralph, I let go, wakes up pretty fast.
But there's still a second where it's obvious that you're grabbing him and going, hey,
Yeah.
he's asleep.
No, he definitely like shook a little bit and then like woke back up. And he then starts to vomit immediately all over the mat.
All over the mat.
So
Runs off the mat.
in my head, then he runs off the mat to get a trash can to puke into. So in my head, I had just won on 3 technicalities, right? I put him to sleep.
So to me, I know the only thing I can argue as the coach is the throw up. Right?
Yeah.
That
And
is
that he ran off the mat.
Yeah,
to throw up.
those two
Yeah.
things together, right? Those are the 2 things. And I know that, that is because even though logic says, well, if you put somebody to sleep and then as the time goes out and they're still asleep, you should win that match. But it's like, how do you prove it? How long were they asleep? They should have stopped it before that, right? And so that's always going to be their argument. But I'm like, hey, we won the moral victory already, but let's try to get the victory. And so I'm immediately calling to the ref. I'm immediately saying, DQ. And the ref DQs him.
Yeah, on the mat.
It was a beautiful thing.
I got my hand raised,
Storybook.
and it was a crazy finish.
Should have
And
ended there.
from Ralph's perspective, absolute horror story so far. He just got embarrassed. I mean, I remember his brother, who I assume it was his brother, was standing on the sideline while I was getting my hand raised, and he was. We have a picture of it somewhere, bro. And he's standing on the sideline, like off the mat, puking, and I can hear his brother like saying, you just lost," and he starts crying right
man.
there. I think Ron had a Snapchat of it or
That's
something.
horrible.
And
It only gets worse from there. It only goes downhill from there, buddy.
So now, Josh, I feel like you should actually take over at this
here's
point.
where we go.
'Cause
Is I see on the board, we just won. It's pretty late in the day. It's white belt, so it's pretty late in the day. We had just won, and I was very confident that we won. His hand was raised. It was a rightful DQ. We won. And so walk over. I look on the screen. It says Bryce Allen in second place. Ralph in first place. Obviously, you guys get why we call him Ralph. And so we go into, I'm like, oh, well, like I got to mention this. So I go up to the girls who give out the medals, and I'm about 3 words into what I'm saying. I'm going to say something about, hey, this is wrong. We got my guy got first, and it says he's in second. And before I can even get it out, the girl is like, all problems are reported to the head referee, and just points over. And I'm like, oh, okay. And so I go over, start to try to get some, like, hey, why is my guy in second place? He won his match. And they are fearful. They're like, and normally you get no special, like your treatment is like, hey, get out of here. We hate you, but they're acting as though like they don't want to talk to me. I don't realize at the time, but I had Eric Arias over my shoulder, mean mugging everybody just in case he saw. I kept it super quiet. No one realizes what's happening. He saw by my body language when I started walking. He's like, oh, Josh needs somebody. He walks up, face tats and all, and is standing right behind. They all, finally, I get a hold of somebody. They start to talk, and the conversation is basically they're like trying to defend. And I was like, hey, you know that the rule is the match is not done until the hand is raised. If somebody runs off the mat, they're DQ'd. We've seen this at Worlds that happen. And so I have great argument. I have precedent. And they, as we're talking, one of them says, bro, it's white belt. What do you want us to do? And he was part of a huge affiliation that has a huge presence and a lot of pull, especially in that area. And so I looked at them and I was like, honestly, that's the best answer that I'm probably going to get. And we walked away and I told all of you guys. But yeah, it gets worse. Should I keep going or do you jump in from here?
So,
because I guess we're mixed together on this at this point.
So Josh comes back and he just gives us the news. Hey guys, we're going to have to take the loss on this one. We all, like, the vibe didn't change, right? Like, we all were laughing and just like, that was awesome. Hilarious story. We knew we were going to go get pizza right afterwards. So we go to the podium and I stand up on the second place spot. I throw up the dog pound. And Ralph was on the first place spot, literally like hunched over, face down, looked as depressed as he could be. And there's a girl outside the podium where people are taking photos, and she's laughing with Josh because I'm on the podium throwing up the dog pound, and I'm on Josh's shirt also throwing up the dog pound. So she's laughing and saying, ha ha, like, that's so funny. That's cool. He's on your shirt. He's doing the same thing right now. And we find out that was Ralph's girlfriend.
I find out coming back to the venue. I had went to get food, come back, pull into the parking lot. I can hear a couple arguing very, very loudly, like obnoxiously loudly. And I glance over, and who do I see but Ralph and his girlfriend arguing with each other. She slams the car door because she's in her driver's seat getting ready to leave. I'm assuming he rode with her. I'm assuming it was his ride also. But then she slammed the door and I guess broke up with him. And so all that embarrassment happened, all with the lead up of his girlfriend thinking that it was funny that Bryce was on my shirt, and then she dumped him.
I've been back to Chicago many times, done many IBJJFs since. I haven't seen him around. I think we made him quit.
Yeah, I think that would have been much worse than farting on his face. I mean, maybe that's why he threw up,
I mean, he got a little puke on me, remember?
Yeah, oof, that's rough, bro. Do you have any more solid stories?
I mean, I have the last featherweight cut that I did, and I can make it really quick.
I think we finished with weight cut stories then.
Okay. Nashville a couple years ago or whatever, It's my last weight cut to featherweight because I essentially, and I had to cut weight 2 days in a row because I did featherweight in the gi, and then I didn't do lightweight no gi. So I had to continue to lose weight for no gi featherweight the next day. Essentially, I mean, yeah, just the whole, I was running in that venue the entire time. Probably for like what felt like 2 hours, 2.5 hours. Saunaed the night before, didn't eat the night before, and I was still overweight. And it was the last time that they could call me before I got DQ'd. And I walk up to the test scale, and I'm still like maybe less. I don't know how much.
Like 0.2, right?
0.2 over or something. And I looked at Junior, who's standing right next to me, and I'm like, dude, like, I can't do it. I have nothing else in me. Like, they're literally right there, literally right there, watching me. And he tells me, bro, go to the bathroom and take off your underwear.
It's crazy how often that's Junior's advice for everything. You know what I mean? Like, it's funny how just take off your underwear is always his advice, you know?
And so I ran to the bathroom. Junior talked to the guy, bought me some time, just said, hey, he's just going to the bathroom one last time.
Junior is just a freaking hero at IBJJFs, bro.
I went back, couldn't even do the test scale. They pulled me straight in there. I made weight exactly. And then I had to go fight without underwear.
Oof. That's a rough one.
And I lost the decision.
By getting your pants pulled down from Barambola.
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been rough. That would have been bad if that story would have gotten worse, you know?
Oh, no.
Now, my weight cut story, I've told parts of this on the podcast, but I think, again, I never tell the real story. I think the jig is finally up. I'm starting to get called for my gis at IBJJF. I'm going to have to start wearing adult size gis, I guess. But I didn't always have to do that. When I was a young adult athlete that people cared about, I could get through gi check like you wouldn't believe, Bryce. And so here is the unabridged story of how I completely cheated years and years and years and years and years ago. So there's no precedent for sure at this point, or there's statute of limitations way up at this point. But I am a black belt. I'm trying to get ready, trying to qualify for Worlds. And I do a tournament. I'm literally like going to be a few points short. Like it was, you need quite a few points, but I'm like looking at it. I'm like, dude, all I need is to get second at a tournament. It's just an open and I'm qualified, and Worlds is coming up really quickly. So I do Atlanta. Me and Richie drive 8 hours, go to the Atlanta Open, wake up morning of, I'm like 4.5 over, and I go at 11. And so I'm immediately, we have no sauna, we have no anything, any access to anything good. So I am just hot showers and jogging. Same exact thing you say, I'm jogging all the way down to the wire. Then I get my first call. I'm wishing that I could have weighed in earlier so I could hydrate a little bit. I get my first call. I'm like, man, I still, this gi that I'm wearing is now a little wet because I've been trying to check my weight and see if I have if I can pass, if I can weigh in and be on. Go grab a new gi, like check on that one. I'm like, this one's a little heavier. This one's still like 0.4, 0.6 over. And so I'm like 15 minutes away. I don't have time for anything else. And so what I end up doing is I end up checking Richie's bag, see if he has a gi. Well, it's like, Richie had a buddy there. And so I check Richie's buddy's bag. And then I go, I don't even know this guy that well. His bag could be this bag right here. And I check that one. I'm like, I don't even know this guy that well. His bag could be this one. I check that one. I'm not finding a gi that fits. If you guys aren't getting the context of this story, I am looking to, for 10 minutes, steal someone's gi without asking, and I'm rummaging through people's bags at a jiu-jitsu tournament. The thing that no one would ever do. That's why we all leave our stuff everywhere. No one would ever rummage through your bag and steal anything except for me. And so I steal a gi. Bryce, the gi's an A1. I'm not an A1, right? Not me. Your boy can't fit in an A1. Throw it on, like, hey, I can make weight in this. The weight's right. I just need it at the top. So I'm like, oh, crap. Typical move. I don't have my ID. So I call over the ref, or not the ref, one of the people that works there. Someone, that you have a little rapport with, that you're like, hey, I'm struggling. You know me. I competed at a lot of these events. I'm an adult black belt. That means something. People care about that. That's pretty much the speech I give. Hey, I don't have my ID, but you literally passed me a few weeks ago at a different tournament. Girl's like, yeah, absolutely. I recognize you. And so she walks back through to be able to walk me through to tell the person that checks my weight and say, oh yeah, this is Josh McKinney. So as she walks through, she quickly walks by the gi check person. And I just put my head down. And at this point in this tournament, the gi check person is like a 12-year-old kid, bro. I walk right by that kid. And I don't get my gi. They don't even look at my gi at all. I jump on the scale. Honestly, there's a good delay and eye contact between the two people, the guy checking weight and the girl that walked me through. And it's like, oh, yeah, this is Josh, where they're like looking at each other like, hey, maybe this guy missed by 0.2. Should I let him through? And then they let me through. So then I go, hey, can I run to the bathroom? Run to the bathroom. I really don't. I just run and throw this whoever's gi I stole right back, throw my other gi back on, the one that fits. I realized that not only did all this happen, the gi that I stole is inside out. It's inside out. The tag literally says A1 on the back of it on the outside, and no one was the wiser. And then I got instant karma, and I got concussed 6 seconds into my first match.
Yeah, that sounds terrible.
But I won.
Yeah.
I survived it. That's a different story for a different day, but should have just been done. Didn't realize because I was so concussed that I was concussed. It's like something weird is happening in my brain. I don't understand.
I think the IBJJF respects the game, man. There's no way they didn't know what you were doing, but they just let it slide because they just respected the grind, I feel like, man.
That is the thing about jiu-jitsu competition that people don't realize either, is that every single part of it is a game. And as soon as you realize that, you stop going, oh, it's all about getting submissions. It's all about this. It's all about that. This is the best rule set. That's the best rule set. And you go, oh, no, each one is its own game. You just learn to play that game, right? It's not about being the best. It's about being the best on that day, in that moment, in that rule set, because that's what you all agreed to, And I just think that is, people don't think of it that way enough.
Yeah. Sounds terrible, though. I've never gotten a concussion during a jiu-jitsu match. Got a fat hematoma one time from an elbow, but...
Man, those make you look cool, though,
yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Yeah, those are cool. Bryce, anything you want to say to finish?
Not really, man.
Me either. I
Happy
think
Halloween.
I'm pretty depressed after the stories that we told, so I'm sorry, you guys. We'll come back in November. We'll make sure we have a happy Thanksgiving and a happy Christmas episode for you guys. Maybe we'll even celebrate Kwanzaa this year to... really, really make sure everyone gets their holidays in.
Nice.
All right. That's all we have for you. We hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Hopefully it was fun for you. Hopefully you found something in it that helps you suck just a little bit less at jiu-jitsu. Have a great day, guys.